What's up, good people? Shout out to all the New Japan heads out there, and thank you for tuning in to my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Capital Collision, which took place on Saturday, May 14th in Washington, D.C. And what a show it was. We got great matches, good storytelling, a surprise appearance, a potential Match of the Year candidate, previews for upcoming matches, and a title change. These are all things that all pro wrestling fans enjoy. But where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself to the new listeners. I am the natural Chris Black of the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast, independent professional wrestler, and everybody's favorite narcissist. And folks, if you didn't know, I made this channel because I wanted to share my thoughts on the best presentation of pro wrestling on the planet, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So today, I'm going to go over all 8 matches that took place at the Capital Collision event. So without further ado, let's get right to it. In the first match, we have Karl Fredricks defeating Ren Narita. In the opening stages of the match, Karl does the Okada fake. Now, Karl Fredricks was one of the young lions that I enjoyed watching. I watched him develop over the last 3 years that I've been watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of things he's going to do in the future. I don't remember watching Narita. If I saw him, it might have been at the tail end. And I didn't really know who the young lions were, let alone what the program was all about. But I've learned to appreciate Narita's work. Both of these guys were looking to prove themselves during this match. They're both just new out the Young Lions program. Karl Fredricks been out a little bit longer. So not only are they proving themselves, but they're also challenging each other. And Fredricks has lost to Narita before. So this was a very hard-hitting match between these two. I mean, no, there wasn't a face-heel dynamic, and that's okay. Karl Fredricks was the main aggressor, mostly because he was desperate for that victory. Narita, on the other hand, was using a lot more technique, hard strikes, and submissions in order to subdue Karl Fredricks. Karl hits a springboard double stomp, which looked stiff as fuck. I do not like the double stomp. I think that is an unnecessary move, but it looked good, somewhat. Narita had that inside cloverleaf submission that looks really, really amazing, and he almost gets Karl to tap. I almost thought he was going to tap. I thought he was going to walk away with another win. But Fredricks eventually wins with the Manifest Destiny, and post-match, Karl Fredricks embraces Narita in a show of mutual respect. So, hats off to those two brothers. They did a good job. But it wasn't the end of that. As Karl Fredricks reached the top of the ramp, he was attacked by QT Marshall, who's still a little bit pissed off because Karl Fredricks rejected his offer to join the factory. So QT cuts a promo on him, talks some shit, gets some heat, thanks him with a kick to the gut, and then says, "I'll see you in Philadelphia." Then wraps his watch around his fists and lays out Karl. So looks like they've got some tapings coming up in Philadelphia. Looking forward to those. I assume that's going to happen on Strong. So looking forward to that match between QT Marshall and Karl Fredricks, although I am not that impressed with QT Marshall. In match number 2, we have a 10-man tag match with a team of, well, Team Filthy, Jarrell Nelson, Royce Isaacs, JR Kratos, Danny Limelight, and the strong openweight champion, Tom Lawler. They defeated the DKC, my boy, Yuya Uemura, David Finlay, Tangaloa, and Fred Rosser. Now, although they won this match, I'm more than confident that Fred Rosser is going to be the one to dethrone Tom Lawler for the strong openweight championship. Matter of fact, their match that is coming up is going to be contract versus title, which almost gives away the ending, unless Fred Rosser plans on going somewhere, and I don't think he is. You know that means he's going to win the title. Tom Lawler has held it long enough. But getting into this match, it was a good multi-man match. It was not a clusterfuck. While David Finlay was in the ring, there was a lot of Juice Robinson talk. Talking about how by joining Bullet Club, he turned his back on Finlay. So I think we may see those two mix it up at some point in the future. JR Kratos is a bit underrated in my opinion. Now, not to say that he's like a perfect worker. I mean, there's still minor things he should probably improve. Like he needs to work on his timing just a little bit. His timing seemed to be half a second off on a certain number of exchanges. But I did get the face-off that I wanted, and that was against Tanga Loa, and that did not disappoint. Finlay takes most of the heat. He plays the face in Pero, which is good because he has excellent fire. He's one hell of a baby face, and he did well in that role. Got the hot tag to Tanga Loa, who clears house. We see Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser mix it up a little bit, promoting their upcoming match in Philly. Okay, excuse me, I might be a little biased on Danny Limelight. He was supposed to do an interview with the Saturday Night SlamCasters, and he canceled on us at the last minute, so whatever. He fucked up the finish. That's right, fucked up the finish to his match, which, whatever, it happens, I get it. Looked like he was going for a springboard DDT, but he slipped off the ropes, quickly grabbed and fumbled DKC, and then did a off-the-rope tornado DDT for the pin. So, I give him credit for covering it up because it was a pretty bad fuck-up, but I give credit what's credit's due. He did a good job cleaning that up. They got a little skirmish post-match between Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler. Again, promoting their upcoming match, so can't be too disappointed in that. And it's about time Tom Lawler lost the title. It's going to be interesting to see what Fred Rosser is going to do with it and how they push Fred with the strong, never openweight title. All right, moving on to match number 3. We got Chase Owens with a surprise victory over the Great O'Khan. One half of the current tag team champs against one half of the former tag team champs. I'm talking Chase Owens being the current tag team champions and Great O'Khan being the former. Khan is very dominant in this match, so Chase had to turn up the heel factor just to gain a bit of more of an advantage. He starts mocking him doing the Mongolian chops, which, big mistake because he got him back, and Great O'Khan showed him how it was done. Chase does a good job staying on top of him, and in the end, Great O'Khan tried to put him away with the Eliminator, but Chase escapes, rolls him up, and with his feet on the ropes, he steals the victory. Interestingly, I was live tweeting during this show, and I had tweeted, there is no reason that Great O'Khan should lose this match, but stranger things have happened. And wouldn't you know, he must have looked on Twitter right after his match because I got a little winky smiley face by Chase Owens himself, kind of like, you thought wrong, brother. So, hey, I'm not mad at you, bro. I just said I didn't think that it was likely that you were going to win. I mean, a singles match with the formal tag team matches, I might be corrupted by WWE, but I would think that they would put Great O'Khan over because you guys did have a fluke victory, but kind of cool that you interacted with my tweets. Not the first. JR Kratos also interacted with my tweets. Jeff Cobb interacts with my tweets quite a bit. Not to pat myself on the back or anything. Next match. We have an 8-man tag where the team of TMDK, Mikey Nichols, Shane Haast, and Jonah, along with Bad Dude Tito, defeated the United Empire members Aaron Hanare, Carl Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Jeff Cobb. This match was the Brawler Special. These guys had a fight. Not so much a match, more of a fight. And it was to be expected. I mean, this was a very hard-hitting match. I, like most people, could not wait to see Jeff Cobb and Jonah go at it. We finally got it when the two backed into each other after clearing out the ring. Jonah, shockingly, makes Cobb look small. I mean, he doesn't dwarf him, but Cobb is visibly smaller than Jonah, and I didn't expect that. I thought Jonah and Cobb would be kind of the same size. But anyway, Jonah gets the best of the exchange with Jeff Cobb. Fletcher gets double teamed and is finished off by Nichols and Haas for the win. Afterwards, Cobb and Jonah continue to talk some trash. Hopefully we get their match sometime in the future. Moving on to match number 5, we have Brody King defeating Murder Grandpa Minoru Suzuki. And the American crowd loves them some Suzuki. And he's not even a heel. He's just a badass old man that is over with everybody. Everyone loves the entrance. They love the song. They love singing along. Suzuki is just eating it up. So anyway, getting to this match. They started out exchanging chops as, Suzuki does. However, when he goes for the arm bar on the ropes, he goads Brody King into, giving him his arm. But Brody King is able to power out and take over the match. Suzuki, the wily veteran, goes after the right hand of King. And it's great strategy because he's trying to cripple his hand. And by doing that, his strength will mean less and less during the match. In fact, he starts inviting him to give him chops, knowing that it's going to hurt him more if he keeps using that right hand. So it forces him to kind of use his weaker hand to exchange chops with Suzuki, which does him no favors. Suzuki almost puts him away. He puts him in the Gotch-style pile driver, picks him up, but can't hold him, can't drop him, and Brody King gets out of it and finishes Suzuki with 3 hard lariats in a row and a Gonzo bomb, which looked like he got dropped right on his head, but he looked fine afterwards. Pretty good match. I'm just so surprised that a man Suzuki's age, A, can move the way he does, and B, is as over as he is, and people actually still see him as legit. Maybe it's because of his shooter background, but I like Suzuki. Hell, I'd like to work Suzuki, but that is another story for another time. All right, let's get to this next match. Match number 6, Tomohiro Ishii defeats Eddie Kingston. And ladies and gentlemen, if you did not see this show, this match stole the damn show. It blew all expectations out of the water. These two woke up with violence on their minds. First, they chopped the shit out of each other. Then they tried wearing each other down with joint locks and submissions. Then they chopped each other some more. They started slamming each other around, started slapping each other in the face until they got tired. You know what? I can't give this match justice by explaining it. This is something that you would have to see for yourself. These two have great chemistry. Their styles fit perfectly. This was a great match. It was a simple match as well. It wasn't overly complicated or anything like that. It made sense. The two both looked like they wanted to win. Just all in all, just a really great match. They threw in a few false finishes that had me thinking that it was the finish again and again. But in the end, it was Ishii who got the victory after a devastating lariat and a brainbuster, which put Eddie Kingston away for good. Man, again, you guys do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen this match, number one, I don't know why you're listening to this review. I thank you, but I don't understand why you're listening to the review without watching the show itself. Go out of your way to find this match and take a look at it. Absolutely will not disappoint you. All right, after this match, we get a surprise appearance by the one and only Lio Rush, the man of the hour, the Moth. He walks out and says it's good to be home because, his hometown is Washington, D.C., and says although he is not clear to wrestle, when he returns, that he is going to take over the junior heavyweight division and elevate it to new levels, specifically calling out the likes of Robbie Eagles, Himuro Takahashi, and Taiji Ishimori, the current junior heavyweight champion. So it's going to be interesting. Lio Rush is one hell of a talent. I've heard all the snickerings online. We all know that this is like Lio Rush's 3rd time coming out of retirement. So it happens. Nobody ever really retires from pro wrestling. I'm willing to let it slide, although it's not a good look. Lio Rush, you're such a talent. You need to continue working in this business, dude. You've got so much more that you can do, so much more money you can make. And if you didn't know, I did work a match with Lio Rush at Legacy Pro Wrestling. I enjoyed it. Lio Rush is a hell of an athlete. and I would love to see him mix it up more in New Japan. All right, getting back to the matches. Match number 7. Oh, and Lio Rush has joined commentary for the rest of the night. Match number 7, we have the Bullet Club members Jay White and Hikuleo taking on Chaos members Kazuchika Okada and Rocky Romero. Jay White, Hikuleo picked up the victory against the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and Rocky Romero. I enjoyed this match. The crowd welcomes Okada with thunderous applause and chants. Okada and Jay White start the match out surprising, but I mean, hell, give the people what they want. And they gave us a good preview of what to expect at their Dominion match. And next, Hikuleo and Romero mixed it up, playing up the size different, and Hikuleo was just taunting him to keep hitting him, and he was just absorbing all the hits from Rocky Romero like it wasn't even phasing him. The heels cut Rocky off from tagging Okada, which is Tag Team Wrestling 101. Cut the ring in half, keep your opponent in your corner of the ring, beat the shit out of him, keep him from tagging. Whoever is mentoring Hikuleo is doing an excellent job. He wrestles like a big man. He doesn't try to do anything overly complicated. His shit is basic, but it's effective, and he plays his role. Okada finally gets the hot tag, fights off Hikuleo, but is taken down by a big boot. Again, basic, but very effective. Jay gets his licks in against Okada, starts strutting around the ring like he's king shit. Not king switch, king shit. He thinks he's been weakened, so he's got that extra pep in his step. Okada regains the upper hand, and then Rocky tags in. So we all know, unless you are new to pro wrestling, since he's the legal man, he's going to eat the pin. And that's exactly what happens. One Blade Runner later, and Bullet Club takes the victory. They jump Okada post-match until Tanga Loa runs out. He tries to convince Hikuleo to join family, saying, "You don't turn your back on family. Your place is with us," meaning him and Tama Tonga. But instead, Hikuleo leaves with Jay White. There's a story there. I don't want to say too much, but I do believe that the key to the Tongans getting their revenge on the Bullet Club is going to be Hikuleo defecting to be with Guerrillas of Destiny, and they're going to take on some members of the Bullet Club. Not going to beat them because the numbers game is just not in their favor, but it's going to make for some good matches. Hell, maybe they're going to take on the House of Torture. Although that's a whole nother story, and I'm not going to get into that now. All right, so let's get into the main event, which is a fatal 4-way no disqualification match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, where we have Juice Robinson defeating Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Jon Moxley to win that title. Man, let's get into this match. Juice comes out with some new music, a new look, new attitude. I like it already. You know, I hate to say it, but Will Ospreay's position in New Japan Pro Wrestling hasn't been the same since his injury. It seems he's fallen down the card ever since he got hurt and had to forfeit the title. Now, don't get me wrong, he's been doing some great work around the world. I know he took some time off from working in New Japan, and like he didn't do the G1, and anyway, he took some time off. But I'm saying, since he's been back, I hate to say that the US Championship is a bit of a demotion, but it kind of is. But he's going to do amazing in whatever division he's in, so I can't be too mad about that. Jon Moxley's Death Rider theme is his best theme, and that is a hill I'm going to die on. I absolutely hate his old AEW theme, and I really hate Wild Thing. No. Okay, so at the start of the match, Will Ospreay goes after Jon Moxley on the outside. Juice Robinson and Tanahashi square off in the ring. Eventually, all order breaks down, and it's every man for himself, and everyone can get it. Everyone has history in this match, with at least 2 of the guys involved. Juice is the first to introduce a chair into the ring, so they're going to start using weapons now, and might as well the dastardly new member of the Bullet Club to pull the first chair. Jon Moxley gets color. No surprise there. Although I will say that I know I give Jon Moxley shit because I think that he's not that great of a wrestler. He just does brawling shit and always wants to have no DQ matches. You know, he actually shined in this match. And this is probably one of the few Jon Moxley matches I really enjoyed. In fact, I think I've been enjoying a lot of his work since he's been with the, what do they call themselves, the Blackpool Combat Club. Again, that's a whole nother story. You want to hear more about the AEW? Check out the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast. New episodes every second and fourth Saturday of the month. Getting back to the match, back to our regularly scheduled program. This match is organized chaos. There's a lot going on, but it's not all jumbled up and the people aren't walking all over each other or falling all over each other. Hats off to these guys. This match was well called. They pulled off what we call in the business a waterfall spot, which is everyone's just taking big moves one by one. I enjoy doing those. I know Mustafa's a fan of those. TC Washington, not so much. I enjoyed it because it seemed like this match was going to be over at least on 2 separate occasions, if not more than that, and I was at the edge of my seat. Tanahashi was a beast in this match. I know I've said before in the past that sometimes Tanahashi can be a little boring, but man, when he is on, he is on. This man was hit a sling blade on the apron, did a high fly flow from the top rope to the outside onto a table. Juice avoids the hidden blade by throwing the referee and then low blowing Will Ospreay. He picks him up for the slam, drops him, and as he's pinning him, Will Ospreay's foot slides underneath the rope just as the ref counts 3, and the ref didn't see it. So it looks like we're going to continue with the whole conspiracy that New Japan Pro Wrestling is screwing Will Ospreay. He even went online saying he might as well quit and join Pornhub because at least then he would be getting paid for getting screwed. Juice is your new IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, and I couldn't be prouder of my boy. I've said for a while, this dude needs more credit in his company. He needs a bigger push in his company. It looks like I'm finally going to get what I want. And now that I think about it, Bullet Club holds all the titles except for the Never Openweight Championship and the Junior Tag Team titles. So I think we're in for a wild summer. It's just starting, folks. But and that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you for tuning in for my review and remind you to hit that subscribe button on your way out so you can enjoy all of my New Japan Pro Wrestling content. My coverage of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament has begun, so be sure to ring that notification bell so you are alerted when new videos are uploaded. Be sure to follow me on all social media. Links are in my description. That'll take you to my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And while you're at it, show the Saturday Night SlamCasters some love. Links are also in the description. That'll take you to our podcast host site, which is Buzzsprout, our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and our Facebook group. I want to thank you again for clicking the play button. Be sure to return for my Best of the Super Juniors tournament coverage. Until next time, come get slammed.